Hey Dalton, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm alright. How are
Ah,
you guys?
good, good.
Huh.
Doing
Ca-
alright.
Caleb is throwing spaghetti.
This is true.
Anything in particular?
Walls.
All over his
A
kitchen.
wall
I saw it.
until it sticks.
Mm.
That's crazy! Why are you doing that?
Because I need a job.
Oh.
I just
You
have a
know
bunch
what?
of interviews lined up, is what I was referring to.
Well, you know what? I'm in the same boat. I was told by the last place I interviewed from that I was going to hear back at the beginning of next week being this week now. Still haven't heard back. I'm going to send one more follow-up email and, cross my fingers super, super hard.
Godspeed.
Godspeed.
Because in the interview, they seem to really like me, so I'm hoping I got the job.
Just gotta hope harder.
I'm hoping really hard.
Just hope a whole lot.
I'm hoping a whole lot, dude.
I had an interview today. Sorry, I had an interview today for a second job at a library position at the library I used to work at here at CNU, and they basically said that I had gotten the job, but they had to go through HR to make it formal. So I did all the paperwork and everything. It wasn't really an interview.
Yeah, you knew everyone giving you
Yeah.
the interview.
Yeah, basically, I walked in, sat down, they went, "There's no need to interview you," and I went, "Oh," and they went, "Yeah." And I
Your
don't think it's a
interview was
requirement, so I'm not going to. I was like,
your
oh damn.
interview
Okay.
was your prior work experience there.
Did Thomas ask you if you
Basically,
were familiar with the bite model, like I asked him to?
Thomas was on his lunch break.
Ah, boo.
I was about to call him out. Fuck. I'm sorry for my voice, by the way. Um, I was about to call him out in the group chat for that. I'll do it right now.
You should. Get his ass.
Epic. Anyways, today I started a new commission. It's a puppy portrait.
Hey! Puppy.
Nice.
Puppy portrait.
Oh, nice.
What a man.
Woman.
What a woman.
Her name is Trixie. She's a black lab.
Incredibly awesome.
Yes.
Look at that. Finished art necessary.
Exactly.
It's part of the tax, bro. It's part of the tax. You gotta update us on the lab.
Well, of course I will. I'm hoping to finish it before, like, at least in 2 weeks. Because tomorrow I'm doing the underpainting, and I do have to wait a few days after doing the underpainting to let that layer fully dry.
Are you gonna
Before I...
do it with like some real chunky, like oil paints over it?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Ugh.
Those are my
It's the
favorite
only way.
paintings, where it's like
It's the only
I
way
can
to
feel
do it.
it.
It's the only way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
If you like chunky oil paintings, you might like the one I just did for my mom and dad's bathroom. It was a painting of Watkins Glen, except instead of doing it kind of true to the photo, I just did it with like different strokes of color. But, I mixed the paint so that the paint was real thick.
Mm-hmm.
So they're very tactile, a lot of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a picture of that, actually. It's at an awkward angle, but you can see.
I just need those chunky paintings.
Chunk.
Chunk.
interesting.
There we go. Look at those chunks.
Chunk, chunk, chunk.
It is chunk o'clock.
Is.
Ah. But you know what they say. Every great thing has gotta come to an end. And while I do love talking about art, now we gotta talk about other things. Like a
Which are
session
also-
that's coming up.
That's
Now we
could
gotta
be
make art.
Now we gotta make art. Dalton, would you mind giving the recap of last session?
I feel like I'm gonna puke.
You got it, buddy.
You feel like you're gonna puke.
Yes.
He's about to talk to the daughter he abandoned.
Shut up.
Oh my god, Caleb,
Also,
I have
I do-
to DM you what Brandon said.
I do also want to say that wasn't hyperbole. I actually have a bucket.
Oh no.
But anyways, last time, Neza woke up for reals this time.
That's true.
We think. You know, this could be just a long con.
I would kill everyone.
Discussed some of the things that were discussed in the dream. For example, messages from Brillian, including the fact that apparently he can somehow observe the notebook that Neza had been using, so he set that on fire, along with a couple of her other books, just to be safe. We had a conversation about sort of Neza's recovery period and what that's going to look like. Talked about people's preferences for breakfast foods. Kaylee's apparently a nut for breakfast.
Breakfast is incredible. An incredible meal.
What else?
That's why Kayla always makes breakfast.
He has priorities, goddammit.
Yeah. And then we... Let's see what came next. Oh, hang on. Sorry. 1 second.
The bucket's being used.
Oh my! I was about to say, oh my god, he's doing. He needs the bucket.
He's doing it! He's doing the thing!
You're okay, Dalton. I'm holding your hair back, so nothing's gonna happen.
What?
After this, you can take a nice long nap.
What? No, my dad came in my room. What?
Hey, that's what Diana's saying right now too.
Oh! It's already starting.
Yeah. Oh, it started last week. Are you kidding me? Where was I? God, breakfast. Let's see. I believe some people did some individual things, mostly minor. Neza disregarded everything that everybody told her and got up out of bed to talk to Polydectes for a while.
And was
About-
shamed because I was so
about-
far off. It was so funny.
This like got up out of the bed. She wasn't supposed to leave and went upstairs.
And to be fair, and downstairs. Downstairs is
and
a lot easier.
downstairs.
And to be fair, they said a day or two, and it was the end of the first. It was fine. It was almost 2.
Anyways, had a conversation with Polydectes about his whole Blue Jade situation and the possibility of an organ transplant. Oh, this also happened, I think, after Neza was dosed with hard opiates.
Yeah, we all made some decisions.
Uh, Polydectes and Neza talked about this for a little bit, and about his sort of supply of blue jade and whatnot. Then, yeah, she went back down the stairs.
Up,
What?
upstairs.
Oh, right. Wait. I thought. Okay.
He went downstairs to talk to him, went upstairs to sleep.
I thought it was the opposite.
I
No,
also thought it was the
truthfully,
opposite.
if it was upstairs, she probably would have just sat at the bottom of the stairs for a second and then went back to her room.
Okay. Let's see. Next morning, breakfast again. And there was some more discussion about why the hell Nathan had ever gotten up, and Polydectes said that he had gotten her to do it, which was very obviously BS, but was not called on it. Then Alon talked a little bit about how he had wanted to contact Diana, and then was roundly critiqued with good reason, and then he tried to punch Kayleigh in the face and then left. Vicha then came in trying to talk to him about some stuff. They had a bit of a heart-to-heart, and then we sort of said our goodbyes to everyone, and headed off in the direction of the keep of the Order of the Mithril Hand, going around the Tempest Wood this time instead of through. And Elon that night contacted Diana, who is 17 and has apparently had some dealings with Borellian in the meantime.
Love her introduction, by the way, as a complete contrast to what we knew about her. Being, quote, what fuckery is this Borellian?
Mm-hmm. But where we begin, Alon, you face your daughter. What are you doing?
He sort of will, because if I remember correctly, she's currently pointing a longbow at me.
Mm-hmm.
He will sort of keep his hands up and sort of. Does he have his weapon in this dream space?
If you wanted to bring it into the dream space, you could, yeah.
I think he has it on him, and he'll sort of just toss it off to the side, and then lower himself to the ground and sit. Ah, Diana.
Why are you here?
I just got back.
You just got back.
Yeah.
After all these years?
Yeah.
I knew you said it would take a long time.
My message reached you?
Yeah, it fucking did! That was years ago!
For me, it was about a month,
I don't...
or take.
You knew it would be years, though. You knew.
Yeah, I did.
Did you know what was going on here? Did
Don't
you know?
care. No! Me and the others, we were enslaved. I didn't know what was going on.
You can see Diana was like slowly lower her bow and just toss it to the ground. Why are you talking to me now?
Because I wanted to see you, Anna.
No. No, you don't get to say that now. Not after everything. You don't get to say that.
Best answer I have.
Best answer you have. You can see Diana kind of lowers her head. You can see she clenches her hands and they are crisscrossed with calluses and scars along. Life has not been easy here. Why didn't you take me away?
When we left the first time,
Anytime. I didn't know it then, but Lord's was... I mean, it's bad now. But then... Why'd we come here? Away from our family, away from our home.
because I was an idiot, Diana. I am still. Because I was a damn fool who thought he could do something, bring his family with him, and that wouldn't have consequences.
Yeah. I guess so.
I should have turned around the moment we started. It's probably a good thing that it's raining right now because Ilana is just fully, like, I don't think the tears have stopped flowing since he saw her.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I got caught up and everything. Every time I came back, I mean, I somehow tricked myself into thinking things were okay.
Were me and Mom not good enough for you?
What?
Was
You were.
was there something else that you were looking for?
I. You and your mother. Every time I left, what I thought I was doing was making the area safer. now I know that every single time I left, it was just leaving you in more and more danger. I kept getting caught up in other deals, other promises I made, and I kept disregarding the most important one I had.
I don't believe that either of us were the most important. No. No, I don't believe that. You know why? Because a great father is a guardian. A rock. Against everything life has to throw at his kids. A great father, he doesn't falter when the night is darkest. He becomes a beacon of light, guiding his children through their fears and their doubts, and he is a shelter in the storm. Warmth in the cold, and the hand that can hold you steady. But you've not been that rock, that beacon, that shelter. You let me wander the dark, alone here. Where was your strength when I needed it? Where was your heart when mine was breaking? You have left me alone to face the storm and to carry the burdens you left behind. In your absence, in your failure, you have allowed my dreams to shatter. But my hope to wither, my light to dim. You have failed not just as a father, but as a man, Alon Skirtai. The wounds you've inflicted have scarred me. I will carry them forever. You don't know what I've been through. But you know what? A great father would still be my hero. But you, Alon Skirtai, you're my ruin. I kept on dreaming about what I would do if you came back. You're a doctor. You're supposed to heal. But who of your hands healed? And you can see Diana straightens herself. Physician, heal thyself. Torment me no more. I'll be in Cartham Gorse. And with that, Alon, you feel a pulse of energy come from Diana. And you feel yourself wake up, bolt upright, back in camp. What do you do? if anything. Ugh, I'm sorry, Dalton. Then all of you can take a complete rest. What you guys do when the morning light comes around the next day. Vicha, Boudica, Neza.
I think Peach stirs. He probably... Honestly, he might go see if Kayleigh wants a hand making breakfast.
Boudica will do the same.
I was about to suggest that Nisa helps with breakfast. So we got 4 people helping with breakfast.
It's a fantastic meal.
Kayleigh will accept the help. And he'll just kind of look over and say, "Hey, is Lon okay?"
I don't know. I figured I'd give him some space.
Yeah. A little bit of time, and then he's still not up and about in a while. One of us can go check on him, make sure he is okay.
Yeah. Here, some eggs for all of you. And he's gonna start passing out some rations.
And I think Vicha would start eating.
So would Neza, although keeping an eye on Alon's tent.
Fair enough.
We'll start eating, and she's also kind of keeping an eye on Alon's tent. Kind of just waiting to see, you know, when he comes out, what he's looking like, because, you know, this is, you know, her buddy. And she knows about having issues with your kids.
Yeah. And what is Neza doing in this instance?
I believe she'd probably... Sorry, can you repeat what the circumstances were? Because I did have to step away for just 1 second to cough.
Yeah, at this point, Alon's still in his tent. You've just had breakfast. Asking you what you're doing. Just right afterward.
Neza would probably gently knock on the pole of Alon's tent. Alon, are you doing okay?
If Alon still needs a minute, I did have a question for you. Nisa.
What's that?
Uh, those books you had about lords in its area, I know they were burned, but do you happen to remember if any of them had any information on Glane?
Did I remember that, Colin?
Um, might have bits and pieces in there.
There might have been a small, like, mention or two, but it was also so ridiculously and laughably out of date that I don't know if any of it would still apply.
Right. So no maps of the city then, I'm guessing.
I didn't even have a map of the area when we got here.
Ah. Alright, well, thought it was worth a shot.
Okay, I'm back.
You good, buddy?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Got some water?
Yep.
At the sound of stirring within Alon's tent, Nezu would turn around and gently knock on the tent pole. You okay?
Um, I think when you open the tent, Alan's sort of sitting like off to the side a little bit with an old patch in his hand, just sort of staring at it.
Do we know, out of character, do we know that Alon tried to talk to Diana tonight?
No, I don't believe so.
He didn't announce it.
Okay. Nezu will attempt to sort of sit on the ground near the tent opening. What's going on?
I talked to Diana last night.
Oh. And how did it go?
He just sort of turns his head to look at Neza and has the most solemn face you've ever seen on him. And you can tell that he is like physically shaking.
Is there anything you need? Water? We've got, I brought you spare breakfast, because I figure Neza probably would have brought spare breakfast, given her propensity for feeding people.
Mm-hmm.
I've got spare breakfast here, so you don't even have to go out or anything.
Sorry, the word breakfast made my stomach turn again. I don't think he looks at you again.
Fair enough, she just sort of set it on the ground nearby. If you just need space, that's okay too. I'll head out. Tell the others not to come in or anything.
I'll give an extremely weak nod.
And Nisa will leave.
And the rest of you
then-
would see Nasa departing from Alon's tent.
And she will shake her head sort of quietly and then say, "He says he spoke to Diana last night. Apparently it did not go well. So, maybe just give him some space."
Okay.
Unfortunate. Well, while he's collecting himself, maybe some of us can go scout ahead, see what the day's journey has in store for us.
Sounds like a great idea, actually.
Then are you two wanting to go and scout?
Yeah.
Yep.
Gotcha. Both of you can make physical checks then.
Let's. Ugh.
Okay, 4, pretty good. And what about for Boudica?
Ah, 3 for both of us.
3. Gotcha. As both of you go a little ways out, you would see that you are at the edge of the ceaseless, and being here, kind of in this place, with the Tempest Wood on one side, the ceaseless on the other, the landscape is vaguely familiar in this part, like a landscape you've traveled before, and you would think that Moltres University is nearby. Otherwise, just more of this grueling, kind of endless landscape.
It appears we could risk it for the biscuit and get some void cloaks.
Are there some nearby?
That's right, you weren't with us. There's a place called Moltres University nearby. A lot of necromancers with a lot of void cloaks. I wouldn't go without, telling the rest of the party without it, but if we do have to go through Chateau Yor, we might as well just, make a pit stop there. We're not very well liked there, by the way. We stole from them. They sent an army of undead after us, so it will not be easy. But if we manage to get our hands on some void cloaks, we can go ahead and go right through the Tempest Wood, lickety-split.
How'd you take care of the armies of undead last time?
A man, nay, an angel, helped us out. He wasn't really an angel, he was a guy, but he was a really cool
Okay.
guy.
Oh. I don't know. What do you think are the chances we could take them on without him?
Good question. Don't know if we'll be able to have Alon to help. Could discuss it with the party. Because we also have Kayle now, and Kayle's pretty sick. And I'd like to think we're a bit stronger now. But, wait, Naze is also banged up.
well, you all have tangled with these people before, so I'll defer to you there. I think having a shortcut would definitely be helpful. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. Uh, would rather make it in one piece.
True. How about we go back to camp and tell people what we know now, and we'll make some decisions from there.
Sounds great.
Gotcha. Then you two trek back to camp, and Kayleigh has put out the fire. Polydectes is up and at 'em, and what is Naza doing at the moment?
I imagine that she would have been sort of hanging out by the fire. Once Kaylee put it out, she probably would have. So she would have been between the fire and Alon's tent, just in case he needed anything. Once Kaylee put out the fire, she probably would have maybe gathered some of the cooler ashes and begun to, like, just sort of absent-mindedly draw on. I assume she still has that little cane from the surgery room to help make the travel a little easier.
Mm-hmm.
Just, make fun little designs on the cane. That'll probably wash away soon, but that's fine.
Fair enough.
And as the other two come back to camp, she'd probably look up and go, "Oh, what ended up being out there?"
So we're actually pretty close to Moltres University.
Oh, I don't know that that's good.
I mean, it could potentially be, considering our goal is to get through the Tempest Wood.
Want to get the void cloaks from there then?
I mean, that's an idea I had. I wanted to run it by everyone first, because, I don't know how possible it is, considering the
That
state
they
we're
hate
in.
us?
But they hate us in the state we're in.
Yeah.
We might be able to pull it off by not being seen at all ever by anyone. Except we might be able to pull like one of the random college kids aside and offer him like an insane amount of gold to just get 5 void cloaks for us.
Yeah, but what if we accidentally pull aside a preppy asshole who immediately, gives us away?
Armed robbery?
When's the last time you guys went here?
A few years ago. I think now at this point.
So you
We
haven't seen them since the whole. Again, he'll
right.
kind of gesture broadly.
Yeah, we don't even know if they're still okay. We they're not a big fan of us, we'll just say.
We took their shit.
Yeah,
We
Boudica mentions the robbery.
yeah, um we conned our way in, and then they took us on a tour of the grounds. We went up to the top of this museum. There was the other half of a sword that you never met her, but our old friend Aoife really wanted. She had the first half, the second half was here, and together they combined to make an incredibly powerful sword, known as the. We know the name of the sword, right?
Yeah.
Known as the Sword of Ishin. So we.
Wait, what? And you can see, Polydectes, kind of double takes a bit at that.
Yeah, they. So it was called the. When Aoife had it first, they called it the Broken Angel's Blade. I think we used the Ascendant power to figure out where the other half was, or was that? Either way, we figured out somehow that the other half was in the university. So Aoife was a shape changer. She disguised herself as an undead rabbit. Boudica and Alon posed as my parent and grandparents, and I posed as a potential college student. We went in, did an interview. They offered us a scholarship and a tour of the grounds, and so we did. Then when we got to their museum, we saw the other half of the Broken Angel's blade, as well as an incredibly powerful item that was very central to the cult, which I didn't know was still a cult at the time. Sorry again. So we took up our positions by the items that we wanted to steal, and then on 3 broke the glass, then jumped out of the top floor of their museum. Boudica helped some people fly, used the Ascendant power to help us fly as well, and then we got out of there and somehow survived the hordes of undead that they sent after us for committing vandalism and burglary and falsifying an application. And then we got the Sword of Vision. Then when Aoife died, though, Fionn took it. To be more accurate, Roisin took it. At Fionn's direction. We don't know what he did with it.
And you didn't search the lab before destroying it?
It had been 5 years at that point. Whatever happened, he probably already just had sent it to wherever it was going to go. He wasn't exactly a hold on to it in case he needed it later guy. He probably sold it off to the highest bidder within days.
Oh. Made it sound like that sword was really powerful.
It really, really was. Apparently it spoke to Aoife too. Somehow.
Oh.
I didn't really
What
hear
did
a
it
lot.
say?
I don't really know. I didn't hear a lot of it. The only thing I know for sure is that Aoife told us that it asked Aoife if it could, quote, save her. Didn't know what that meant at the time.
Hmm. Well, do you think it's worth trying to see what the university has been up to? Or do we want to continue just trying to skirt around to the Tempest Wood?
If we want the Void Cloaks, that's probably a good place to go, but we really, really shouldn't be seen around there.
Look, I'll be honest. I think we go around. Mainly because if we go in there, I know we're fighting that entire university. I trust some of you, not you, Vicha, with my life. But
I love Kayla.
I also know that stealth and subtlety are not your nuances.
Liz is nodding.
He is kind of cooking right now.
No, that was hours ago. We already ate breakfast. Go lay down, Grandma.
He is kind of cooking brunch right now.
Really? Oh.
And the crowd went home.
So that's just
Nice.
me. That's my 1 copper.
Yeah. I would agree with that. It's just skirting around the edge of the Tempest Wood, not even touching the university with a 10-foot pole.
Is there an add-on to that sentence, or was that the whole thought?
Not touching the university with a 10-foot pole and going around the Tempest Wood? That was it.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
How? Boudica, you said the area looked familiar. How far do you think it is to the university?
How far did it look?
Probably about 10, 15 miles. About a day's journey.
Seems like it would be around a day's journey out of the way.
How much time would going through the Tempest Wood instead of around it save us?
I mean, none of you know that information.
None of us know that? Okay.
I mean, you've been gone for years. Things might have shifted and changed. And, you would
Well, you've
catch
just been
on.
gone his entire life.
Yeah, and you
Sure,
would
go on.
begin to catch on that, these folks weren't exactly explorers in the time that they were here.
We were doers, no time for that nerd shit.
What did you
Hey.
do? You did the Meraviglia.
We did!
Yeah, we're doers. And what did we do? 9/11.
Hey, even those guys flew a plane. We didn't even do that. We stayed in our own little 5-mile radius.
It's called staying in our lane.
Did you
Only
stay
write
in your
what
lane?
you know.
Well, my thought was that it could be worth going to the university and seeing if there are even still people there after you started the apocalypse. The city we were just in wasn't in the best shape. It's possible this place has been abandoned.
Or that it's become overrun with. What happens when a normal zombie is met with a virus and becomes a plant zombie? If Alon were feeling better, I think I'd ask him that question. That sounds like a doctor question.
That sounds like a necromancer question.
Wish Chloe were here. I don't wish that even a little bit. Oh my god, this is such a terrible place to be. Wait a second. Colin?
Uh-huh.
Wait a second. When Chloe left, thinking back, do we think that was before or after the maiden got replaced by the shapeshifter?
Before. The real
Oh,
maiden
thank
never came
God.
back.
Okay, that's what I was really hoping, but I wanted to just double check that it wasn't like a quick change in the middle of the night, and then Chloe left with the fake one. I really hope that was the handover point.
Ah, yes, the real maiden just stood up and went, I'm leaving my daughter now. Goodbye.
No, things happen.
That happens? That's crazy.
No, I didn't think it would. I just wanted to make beyond a doubt sure.
No. The maiden is a good mama. She takes care of Chloe when she's not an Aether Eater. So, yeah. My guess, though, is undead squared. I don't like that.
I also don't like that.
Have you seen the virus afflict corpses before?
Not that I know of, at least. Under normal circumstances, I would agree with you, Vicha. The problem is if we go there and there are still people around and they are affected by the virus, or are not affected by the virus, then we've got an entire army on our tail, which we had only escaped last time with the help of Helmuth, and I definitely can't. You never met him. Helmuth von Gratz, a very strong warrior, we'll say.
I know who he is, yes.
Okay, good. And truthfully, I don't think, personally, I'm in the shape to do something like that again. He had us run for 7 days and nights straight, with no rest, full sprint. And I don't know, after what happened with Diana, that Alon's in that state either.
Oh, I mean, you're talking as though we would have to get close enough for them to spot and recognize you. We could just get close enough to see if there's even activity around there.
Why are you suggesting this?
Because I think it could save us some time.
I
And
vote
it
the exact
sounds like-
opposite.
Sounds like you guys were hurting without the void cloaks before.
Okay, no. My vote is absolutely no. I don't know what you're trying to do, but I don't trust it.
What I'm trying to do is get to Clayton faster so we can get that dragon scale and help the people, afflicted by the apocalypse most of you brought on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Kayleigh's made his opinion obvious. What do the rest of you think?
Unfortunately, in this particular instance, I'm gonna have to stand with Kayleigh.
Hell yeah.
She'll offer a weak high five.
And he'll give you a crisp high five.
Ow.
I know I was the one to suggest it, but I think maybe it's not a possibility right now. Maybe something we grab on the way back, but when we're stronger, I mean, if we're stronger,
When we're stronger.
yeah. And Boudica's gonna quickly find some wood to knock on.
Fair.
Wandering into the Tempest Wood for that?
A quick Tempest Wood trip. A knock on wood.
It's like she pops in and immediately a timber knight just
Wood knocked on her.
No! No!
Well, it seems like Boudica and Neza have their opinions known. I want to make sure everything's packed up, so we can go when we're ready. And he's going to make like an "I'm watching you" sign with his hands at you, Vicha. And then Kayleigh is going to head and try and go pack up the camp.
I think he's just gonna roll his eyes. But hell, I mean, he'll pack up his own stuff. Since things are settled, he's just waiting to leave at this point.
And Nazel will back up as well. And then she also wants to ask Polydectes something very quickly.
Okay.
Probably just while packing up. By the way, where's that one of the nearer blue jade deposits?
Well, hopefully we'll get close to a lab or something if we're going along this way. At least that's what I hope.
Okay.
And if we don't find one, well, then it gets more interesting from there. But look, I hit them everywhere, so it's not like we can completely miss them, right?
You said, where? And, like, I mean, physically, literally, where did you hide them? Because we found out a while ago that the cult can kind of sense things that are in the ground on this ring. So if all of them were buried,
Oh, sometimes they were left in old labs, others I constructed fake trees and put a few ounces in those, along with other materials, just in case I got lost.
okay, that shouldn't be too bad.
Others
Oh.
I put in migrating animals, like geese.
How did that work?
I used one once. It was gross. The goose bit me. Got the materials I needed, though. And a sleeping bag for the night.
A whole sleeping bag and a goose.
It was in a demi-plane. I didn't stuff a goose completely full of a sleeping bag.
I assumed that part, but... Wait, what happens if the goose dies, though?
Well, happened to one of them. And, let's just say, when I went to go check on the cache, part of the way the enchantment works is, if it's removed from the goose, it expels its contents. And if the goose's body gets too cold, well... And he makes a gesture with his hands, like the popping of a bubble.
Oh, great. I think his expression is equally as grossed out as mine is. Oh, that cannot have been fun.
No, it wasn't. The whole flock was in collateral damage range. It was a goose pipe bomb. The horrors of science. And he walks away.
Fair enough. After that, Niz will probably knock on Alon's tent pole again.
Okay.
After taking a second to think, abandon the idea that she had about weaponizing this, and then just knock on his door. And without entering, though, she'll call out, Alon, we're packing up to go. Do you want help packing up your tent?
Lon just sort of silently starts packing up his stuff.
Nisa will, without any further answer, Nisa will leave him to do his own thing.
Gotcha. Then, at about noon, all of you are packed up. Is your intention still to go around the Tempest Wood, aiming to eventually reach Cartham Gores?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Then, as you all begin to set out on this trek, on this journey, it is, a long way to travel. Very quickly, you start to realize that there are threats out here beyond Darmia. This is a landscape that is changed and warped by those who now inhabit it. The area forever altered by the Meroviglia. All of you will need to find a way to make it to Cartham Gores without being caught. So, this is what we are going to do. We are going to be entering into a skill challenge. And for this, you are attempting to make rolls to get you and your party mates to Cartham Gores unscathed. The question is, who's going first as you attempt to trek across the landscape as the infected individuals and warped creatures are on your tail?
I think, may I? So we know that the landscape is fairly familiar. Would I be able to attempt to make a mental check to guide us as well as I can remember
Sure.
through the landscape?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. That is going to be, I almost forgot the prestige that I have. 8 successes.
8 successes? Alright. It's a 2-to-1 ratio for this challenge, so that will be 4 total from you. As you begin to go through, passing by one of Polydectes' old workshops as you go, you're making overall good progress as you're beginning to recognize the area around. However, as you begin to go, there comes a point, Neza, where your recollection changes. And in the distance, all of you see a massive lighthouse of some kind. And Kayleigh will point it out. Ah, that there is the lighthouse at Ostrion. It was built by some of the worshippers of Estelle long ago. Old, decrepit thing. Tall place, though. And looking at it, Vicha, Boudica, Alon, Neza, you would see that there are creatures climbing over the outside of the lighthouse, and they don't look particularly friendly. Probably another great location that has been swarmed over by the impure. But it's 4 successes. Who's going next?
Could I make a strength check? And my reasoning behind it is Boudica is sort of trying to take on a role of guardian protector, and by doing that, whenever they are running into monsters, she's just like, I'm gonna start chopping through, especially now that she has the
Gotcha. Then make that strength check.
gonna be tree.
Gotcha. You want to spend any hero points on that?
Yeah, I will spend 3 hero points on that.
Alright.
It was worth it!
You can also have another 1 reroll. I'm going to give you 2 hero points.
Right.
Very nice. Then, as the days pass, begin to find yourselves kind of contending with crisper fall weather. But now you are beginning to reach the edges of the Tempest Wood and pick back up on more of a main road. But along the main road, there are more creatures, more enemies. However, Kayleigh is beginning to spot more and more posts, trails, like guides, if you will, of old hobgoblin camps and trails. You're getting closer and closer to Cartham Gores. A few more successes needed. Who's up next?
Could Vicha make a mental check to kind of try to study the behavior of the undead we're seeing around, see if he can kind of work out how they're thinking and exactly what they're doing, to make it kind of easier to avoid and steer clear of them?
Sure.
Cool. Would Exceptional Mind work for that?
It would, yes.
Cool. That is 4 successes, so 2 successes.
Mm-hmm. Then with this, it looks like they are probably building to something, Vicha. Bringing materials and tools this way and that, hard at work. And so you actually sometimes divert off the main trail. And you begin to pick up on the fact that these creatures aren't willing to give chase as much anymore. In fact, they are moving much, much slower. And then there comes a point where on the 9th of New Witty, after the sun has gone down, all of you begin to camp one night. And there is a shift, a wave that goes out and through the cosmic stack. All of you don't know what it is, but something has changed. And on watch that night, Vicha, the infected seem to have almost completely disappeared from the landscape, preoccupied by other matters entirely. What it could be, you don't know. But things have changed. However, one more success is needed. As you all wake up the next day on the 10th, and there is kind of a mini chill that goes down all of your backs. You keep your weapons drawn, although you don't know why. But now I must ask, Alon, what are you doing as you all begin to make your final approach to Cartham Gores?
I think he'd do his best to make sure that both he and everybody else was approaching silently.
Okay.
I don't know if that'd be a physical check or what, but
Sure, make a physical check.
three.
Gotcha. Then, that is overall what you needed as you begin to make your way towards Cartham Gores, and as you start to leave kind of a set of highlands, you look over your shoulder at one point, and in the early morning light on a distant ridge, you think you see a figure following your group along. They have scales of a more silvered color, And then as you see them, they seem to duck back and away. It was vaguely humanoid, with a tail and horns. You might have a guest who is attempting to follow your trail. But using your keen senses and your training, you are able to help guide the party. You start to make a silent approach to Cartham Gores.
When I saw the figure, I'd tell Kaylee.
Gotcha. Kaylee would nod and say, "Yeah, that doesn't sound like any of us. I don't like it."
Should we intercept now?
We can try. I don't know if we'll find them. But getting back with my brothers and sisters behind the walls, that could at least be something. I would rather us be stocked up fully than try to engage them out here.
Alright.
This conversation is just between them, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
But as you are all continuing the approach, about midday on the 11th of Newity, you begin to crest a hill and see Cartham Gores in the distance. The fort is even more ruined than all of you remember. It looks like it has been in disrepair now for many, many years, and it already wasn't in great shape. As you look upon it, there is this sense of perhaps dread. But then, all of you are able to see in the distance, kind of moving towards the gate, a figure in mithril plate armor with a flash of kind of auburn hair, reminiscent of Aspasia, and a red bandana around the head. So all of you can see Diana is pulling a cart of what appears to be herbs and other materials up to the gate of Cartham Gores. She has not seen any of you yet. What are you guys doing?
Niz is looking to Alon. Well, the Dalton might be
should we
thrown up
go-
again.
Should we go speak to the person over there?
Hold off for just a second. That's... I would recognize Diana, right? You said she looked almost the spitting image of Aspasia.
Mix of Aspasia and Alon, yeah.
I think that's Elon's daughter.
Ah,
Her name's Diana. We last saw her when she was young, very young.
and Vici will just kind of nod at that.
What's the game plan then?
Hoping we could just approach and say hi, walk through the gate. But I don't know if Alana's up for that. I say, kicking Dalton under the table.
Dalton, you good, buddy?
Yeah, the longer the silence goes on, the more worried I am. I think you might have killed him.
Don't put this on me.
I think he might be entering the ER. Do you hear sirens near your apartment?
I hear a Dodge Charger revving. Is that him getting closer?
I was about to say, that's Dalton revving to go into your fucking window.
Oh no, Dalton became a Dodge Charger.
However, if Alana isn't feeling well, fortunately we are gonna have to reach out soon. It's better that we approach her than she sees us over here deliberating. Right?
Sorry, I'm back. Ugh.
Oh, you don't sound
What's
good.
happening?
Are you okay?
You good, man?
Not great, but I'm back.
Would you
Well-
like us to cut the session short for today?
Yeah, I really don't feel well. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, it's okay.
You're good, buddy.
You're good, dude.
Yeah, that's okay.
Thanks for pushing through.
I really need to go to get some sleep.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Then it is here where we will end the session for today. So all of you can take a level up.